Imagine this. It's the middle of 2020. The world has shut down. Planes are grounded everywhere. You look up at the sky and it's just empty. It felt like the end of the world for airlines. Major carriers were going bankrupt. They were asking for government bailouts. But in the heart of Africa, one airline did something different. It didn't ask for a bailout. It didn't ground its entire fleet. Ethiopian Airlines saw an opportunity where others saw a dead end. They looked at their passenger planes. Hey, we can take the seats out. So that's what they did. They converted passenger jets into cargo planes almost overnight. While others parked planes in the desert, Ethiopian Airlines was flying. They were transporting masks, ventilators, vital medical supplies all over the globe. They became the world's lifeline. This move was a masterclass in survival and adaptation. It showed the world that this airline, born in Ethiopia, was a global player. It was a lion that had learned to fly and hunt in a storm. This story tells you everything about Ethiopian Airlines. It's a story of resilience and inventive problem solving. It's the thinking that defined the airline for decades. While others saw challenges in Africa, Ethiopian Airlines saw potential waiting to be connected. They didn't wait for permission. They created their own conditions, built their own wings, charted their own course through turbulent skies. This spirit is why, on October 5th, 2025, we can call Ethiopian Airlines more than a company. It is a symbol of African excellence, a testament to vision, determination, a refusal to accept limits. Let's rewind the clock, way back, to 1945. The world was just emerging from the chaos of World War II. Ethiopia, under Emperor Haile Selassie, had its own vision for the future. The emperor understood something crucial. For Ethiopia to be truly independent and connected to the world, it needed its own airline. It couldn't rely on foreign powers to link it to other nations. This wasn't just about business, it was about sovereignty. It was about national pride. With a handful of surplus military aircraft from the war and a partnership with Trans World Airlines, a dream was born. The early days were anything but glamorous. The first planes were Douglas C-47 Skytrains. They were military transports with seats bolted in. The pilots were American veterans. They flew to Cairo. They flew to Djibouti. They flew to Aden, navigating with basic instruments and a whole lot of courage. The runways were often just cleared strips of dirt. Forget fancy airport lounges. The terminals were simple huts. It was a rugged, pioneering operation built on sheer will. The challenges were immense. Ethiopia, mountains and deep valleys, the roof of Africa. Flying here was not for the faint of heart. Pilots navigated treacherous terrain in unpredictable weather, often without modern radar. They also had to build a skilled local workforce from scratch. Ethiopian pilots, Ethiopian engineers, Ethiopian cabin crew. So how did Ethiopian Airlines go from a few rickety planes to Africa's biggest airline? The answer isn't just one thing, but if you had to pick the most important ingredient, it would be leadership. For decades, the airline has been managed by Ethiopians, for Ethiopians. Unlike many other African state-owned enterprises that were often mismanaged or used for political gain, Ethiopian Airlines was run like a proper business. The government largely kept its hands off, allowing aviation professionals to make the decisions. This consistency and independence have been absolutely critical. This professional management adopted a long-term strategy. Vision 2010, Vision 2025, Vision 2035. These weren't just fancy slogans on a boardroom wall. They were detailed roadmaps. They set ambitious goals for fleet size, destinations, revenue, and profit, and then they meticulously worked to achieve them, step by step. While other airlines were thinking about the next year, Ethiopian was thinking about the next decade. This forward-thinking approach allowed them to anticipate industry trends and make smart investments ahead of the competition. A key part of this vision was reinvesting profits. Think about it. When most state-owned companies make a profit, the money often disappears into government coffers for other projects. But Ethiopian Airlines did something different. It consistently reinvested its earnings back into the business. This meant they could afford to buy new, fuel-efficient planes. They could build a state-of-the-art maintenance facility. They could expand their training academy. This cycle of earning and reinvesting created a powerful engine for growth. It fostered a deep sense of ownership among employees, from the CEO through managers and operations staff, down to the ground crew. One of the smartest things Ethiopian Airlines ever did was realize that to be the best, you have to grow your own talent. You can't always rely on hiring experts from other countries. So, way back in 1956, they started a training center. It began small, training pilots and maintenance technicians. But over the years, it grew and grew. Today, it's not just a center, it's the Ethiopian Aviation University, the largest and most advanced aviation training facility in Africa. It's like the Harvard of African aviation, a massive campus in Addis Ababa dedicated to building the future of the industry. This university is a game changer. It trains pilots in cutting-edge flight simulators that can mimic any weather condition or emergency. It has programs for cabin crew, teaching them everything from safety procedures to 5-star customer service. It trains aircraft maintenance technicians on the latest Boeing and Airbus models. It even has schools for airline management, finance, and marketing. They are not just training people to fly planes. They are creating the next generation of aviation leaders for the entire continent. The impact goes far beyond Ethiopian Airlines itself. It has become a center of excellence for all of Africa. Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda, and many more send their staff to Addis Ababa to be trained. It's soft power, building relationships, and a pan-African network of skilled professionals who share high-quality training. This investment in people ensures a steady supply of world-class, context-aware talent and lowers costs. The university is the heart of the airline, pumping skilled, motivated, proud professionals into every operation. The most valuable asset isn't a plane, but the person flying it. In the airline business, your fleet is everything. Old planes are noisy, guzzle fuel, and cost a fortune to maintain. Ethiopian Airlines understood this early on. While many competitors flew aging aircraft, Ethiopian invested in one of the youngest, most modern fleets in the world. They were one of the first globally, and the very first in Africa, to take delivery of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. The Dreamliner was the most technologically advanced passenger jet of its time. This commitment to modern technology wasn't just for show. It was a brilliant business strategy. New planes like the Dreamliner and Airbus A350 are incredibly fuel efficient. On long-haul flights to China, Brazil, or the United States, Ethiopian's fuel costs are significantly lower than competitors with older jets. In an industry with razor-thin margins, this is a huge advantage. It allows them to offer competitive ticket prices while maintaining profitability. A magic formula many airlines struggle to find. A young fleet also makes passengers feel safer and more comfortable. Better air quality, larger windows, advanced entertainment, superior experience. This builds the brand as a premium, world-class carrier, not just an African airline. It challenges outdated stereotypes and puts Ethiopian on par with global giants in product quality. Beyond aircraft, Ethiopian's MRO facility is among Africa's most sophisticated, performing heavy maintenance for itself and other airlines, creating another profitable revenue stream and cementing technical leadership. By always keeping an eye on the future, Ethiopian ensures its wings are ready for new horizons. Ethiopian Airlines' greatest contribution is arguably its role as Africa's great connector. For decades, flying within Africa was, well, a nightmare. To get from one African country to another, you often had to fly to Europe first and then fly back. A flight from West Africa to East Africa could take over 20 hours. It was absurd. It was a colonial-era legacy. Paths designed to connect Africa to former colonizers, not to itself. Ethiopians set out to change this, deliberately and strategically. They built Addis Ababa into a massive crossroads for the continent. They developed a hub-and-spoke model, morning arrivals from across Africa, and afternoon departures to everywhere else. What once took a day could now be done in hours, with a single seamless connection. Today, Ethiopian flies to more destinations in Africa than any other airline. From major capitals like Lagos and Johannesburg to smaller, underserved cities, the airline has stitched the continent together. It facilitates trade. It boosts tourism. It connects families and friends. This Pan-African focus is core to its identity. It's not just an Ethiopian airline, it's an airline for Africa. The slogan, "The New Spirit of Africa," is more than marketing. It's a mission, breaking down barriers, fostering unity and shared purpose. Ethiopian is helping make an integrated, prosperous, self-reliant Africa a reality, one flight at a time. The journey of Ethiopian Airlines has not been a smooth, uninterrupted ascent. The airline has flown through some of the darkest storms imaginable. It has navigated political instability at home, civil wars, revolutions, and drastic changes in government. For state-owned enterprises, this turmoil is often a death sentence. But Ethiopian maintained its operational independence through it all. Its leaders convinced successive governments it was a national asset that transcended politics and vital to the country's image and economy. It also faced intense competition from all sides. From the north, Gulf carriers. From Europe, legacy giants like Air France and British Airways. Within Africa, regional challengers. Yet Ethiopian thrived, lower cost base, strategic location, unwavering Pan-African focus. Perhaps the most devastating challenge was the tragic crash of Flight 302 in March 2019. The accident involved a brand new Boeing 737 MAX. It cost precious lives and shook public confidence. In the face of immense grief and pressure, leadership acted with transparency and resolve, among the first to ground the MAX, putting safety above all. They worked with investigators, demanded accountability and software fixes, supported families, and doubled down on safety. They mourned, but did not break, methodically rebuilding trust. It proved this airline is built on resilience, finding a way through the worst storm and emerging stronger. When you see the green, yellow, and red colors of an Ethiopian Airlines plane land at an airport in Beijing, Washington, or São Paulo, it's more than just a plane arriving. It is a powerful statement. It is a symbol of modern Africa on the global stage. For too long, Africa's story was poverty, conflict, dependency. Ethiopian Airlines rewrites that narrative every single day. Professional, capable, ambitious, connected. Across Africa, there's pride and shared ownership. This is our airline, a carrier that understands Africa and serves it with respect. Awards like Best Airline in Africa validate its high standards, on the ground and in the air. From multilingual hospitality to delicious Ethiopian cuisine, it showcases African culture, it challenges stereotypes and opens minds. For many, their first positive African experience is on Ethiopian. Professionalism, efficiency, and warm service make a lasting impression. More than transport, it is a flying embassy for Ethiopia and for Africa. Africa's pride in the sky, carrying hope, progress, and limitless potential to the world. Its message resonates in every corner of the globe. As we stand here in 2025, the story of Ethiopian Airlines is far from over. It is just entering its most exciting chapter. The airline's Vision 2035 is even more ambitious than the last. It aims to more than double its fleet and its destinations, solidifying its place as an African leader and a top-tier global airline group. They're not just flying more people, they're building a complete aviation ecosystem. Hospitality, logistics, manufacturing, building an empire in the sky. Its capital is Addis Ababa. The airline's success is a blueprint for the continent, proof that a successful, profitable, world-class state-owned enterprise is possible in Africa. With good governance, long-term vision, and reinvesting in people and technology, African companies can compete and win globally. Ethiopian Airlines is a beacon of hope, inspiring entrepreneurs, inspiring leaders to dream big, to build success in aviation, in technology, and beyond. Africa's future is connectivity. The AFCFTA is unlocking opportunities. Efficient transportation will be critical. Ethiopian is poised to be the engine of an integrated Africa, carrying business people, innovators, and tourists. So when you see an Ethiopian jet overhead, remember, it's a dream born 80 years ago, a story of resilience and African ingenuity. The lion that learned to fly is teaching the world perseverance and hope. The future is African, and it has already taken off.